The first 2 weeks of May have been particularly challenging. We're seeing coins drop to zero, and this will be dubbed cryptocurrency's first major Lehman moment. Many investors are concerned that this could lead to a greater contagion in the cryptocurrency market. Remember, cryptocurrency had a market valuation of roughly $3 trillion at its peak. So, if cryptocurrency loses trillions of dollars in value, as it already has, it might trigger a bigger sell-off, causing damage to the global financial system as a whole. So, what caused Terra's value to plummet so drastically? What caused UST, the stablecoin that is supposed to be priced at $1 and never fall below $1, to become depegged as its dollar value dropped to roughly 15 cents? Could Tether and USDC, which are far larger and more important stable currency, be next? In today's video, I'll discuss Coinbase's potential bankruptcy, whether Michael Saylor will be facing a margin call, and what we can learn from cryptocurrency's previous bull market to see if the bottom is in sight, or if we're in for a prolonged recession, if not depression, and a cryptocurrency winter that lasts much longer than the previous ones. Let's not waste any time and get right into the news, facts and figures. But before we begin, make sure to keep yourself informed and engaged by subscribing to the channel, clicking the notification bell, and turning on all notifications so you won't miss our latest uploads. You've probably heard the news. Cryptocurrency Luna drops to zero as the US dollar slides farther off its peg and Bitcoin makes a comeback. But can it last? Terra was one of the major cryptocurrencies in the top 10, for those of you who didn't know. UST was a stablecoin with a market worth in the billions. Stablecoins, for those who don't know, are a type of coin that is designed to remain stable and not lose value. When many cryptocurrency investors predict the price of their cryptocurrency to decrease, they sell it and convert it into stablecoins, which they may earn interest on by staking or lending. UST today has a market valuation in the tens of billions of dollars, and many investors have parked their money there, believing it to be a safe haven. As a result, even if cryptocurrencies fell in value, their money wouldn't be lost. Their $10,000 in the US dollar would remain $10,000. Terra Luna stablecoin UST, on the other hand, is not like other stablecoins. It is not backed $1 for $1 by business bonds, US Treasury bonds, or assets. Rather, it is an algorithmic stablecoin. So, if you're looking for a simple explanation for how this stablecoin lost its dollar value, how it dropped to 15 cents on the dollar, and how Terra Luna became worthless, consider the death spiral. I'll make a simple chart on the death spiral right here. Step 1 can be seen here. Luna loses its worth, more Luna is created due to a bank run on UST, the stablecoin. The more Luna is minted, resulting in a higher supply than the price of Luna. Then, there is an increase in the number of people running on UST as their anxieties grow. This cycle goes on and on until it's worthless, which is exactly what happened. This is what it has resulted in. As the sell-off worsens, the whole crypto market has lost more than $200 billion in a single day. As we can see, Bitcoin's price fell below $26,000 on Thursday, reaching its lowest level in 16 months. As we can see, Bitcoin's price fell below $26,000, reaching its lowest level in 16 months. Since Bitcoin dropped from its all-time high in November, there have been warnings that we are entering a crypto winter, that the bull market was ended, and we'd be in for a 12 to 18-month bear market according to the 4-year cycle. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin's price drops to $20,000, and I'd like to emphasize this once more. Because if they say they're purchasing a small bit of Bitcoin on YouTube, you, the viewer, might think, well, if they're buying a little bit, maybe I should put all my money in Bitcoin. Please bear in mind that these videos are not intended to provide financial assistance. Before investing in any market that piques your interest, you should always conduct your own due diligence. Later in the video, I'll explain why Bitcoin could still fall considerably lower and why many investors are keeping the majority of their capital on the sidelines in the hopes of getting even bigger discounts. However, if you want to hedge your risks, you may still buy a small amount now while we're still having tremendous discounts of 60% or more. As a result, Ether, the second largest cryptocurrency, has fallen below 2,000, and the collapse of stablecoin Terra USD has raised concerns about further market contagion. So that takes me to my second argument in the video. This may be the crypto equivalent of Lehman Brothers, resulting in broader market dysfunction. Because Tether is considerably larger than UST, we should be concerned if we see it fall. And if Tether falls, there have been allegations that they have high-risk corporate bond debt, which is not very liquid, following the rumors that Tether has not truly backed. As a result, if Tether falls in value, Bitcoin's price will plummet dramatically. Because, take a look at this, stablecoins Terra and Tether have depegged from the dollar, prompting analysts to worry if crypto is experiencing a Lehman moment. Because of what happened in May 12th, when the Terra Luna stablecoin dropped to around 14 or 15 cents on the dollar, Tether dropped to 94 cents on the dollar. This has happened before with Tether, so it's not a major concern right now, but if it falls below 90 cents on the dollar, we should be quite worried. The collapse of the cryptocurrency stablecoin Terra USD, also known as UST, is invoking fearful comparisons to the 2008 financial crisis, as some analysts wonder whether the entire crypto ecosystem could be at risk of imploding, according to the article. We will see a far larger downturn if people lose faith in cryptocurrency as a whole. People could lose faith in all stablecoins and start liquidating, which could cause fear, or people could lose faith in other projects and start selling off everything, which would obviously not be enough liquidity, making the recent crash look like child's play and causing many other projects to go bankrupt. Quote, because the USDT dollar peg is supposedly backed by real-world financial assets, the decline in USDT Tether is more concerning than the collapse of stablecoin peer UST. Its failure could have ramifications on both regular markets and the crypto sphere. That's because, as I have stated, they're backed by corporate bonds. Things are likely to become ugly fast if the one-to-one pegs on the US dollar backed instead of the algorithmic on stablecoins crack, which might lead to cross-margin selling in other asset classes. As a result, some analysts are beginning to issue warnings. Quote, the collapse of Tether peg will take down a large chunk of the crypto ecosystem, given how central Tether becomes to crypto flows, commented Anant Jatia, founder of Greenland Investment Management, in a LinkedIn blog. Quote, if Tether dies, it's all over, friends, said Dogecoin founder Billy Marcus on Twitter, referring to the potential repercussions of Tether depegging. Again, I'm not claiming that this will occur. I'm not attempting to instill fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the people. I'm simply trying to warn you about what could happen so you don't jump all in right now, believing things can't possibly fall over. As when people bought Terra thinking it was a good deal at $1, only to see it drop another 99% in a day. As a result, Terra has reached a point of no return. We're concerned about what might happen to Tether, but there's an even worse risk on the horizon. Coinbase informed users about the potential consequences of bankruptcy for their cryptocurrency. So, while CEO Brian Armstrong claims that Coinbase isn't on the verge of going bankrupt, the company warns that if it does, consumers' funds may be frozen. This is quite disturbing, since even if Coinbase doesn't go bankrupt, the mere fact that they are discussing bankruptcy or mentioning the B word at all is alarming. So, like the rest of the cryptocurrency market, Coinbase Global Incorporated is having a bad time. Not that declaring bankruptcy is a negative thing, but the biggest issue in a regulatory filing, the crypto exchange used the word bankruptcy, offering users a stinging reminder of how terrible things may become if Coinbase ever goes bankrupt. And I know a lot of you who invest in cryptocurrency use Coinbase, so you should listen to this right now. Quote, in this quarterly report, Coinbase added a risk disclosure. If the company files for bankruptcy, Coinbase may treat customer assets held by the exchange as Coinbase assets, whether they are Bitcoin, Dogecoin, or something else. Unquote. Investors will be last in line for repayment, forcing ordinary individuals who aren't familiar with the ins and outs of federal bankruptcy court to call in their money along with everyone else owed money by the exchange. This means that if Coinbase goes bankrupt and you want your money back, you'll be at the bottom of the line. And consider how much money is on the line. On March 31st, Coinbase was the custodian of $256 billion in customer funds. And of course, the CEO will tweet about it. Quote, there's a lot of buzz around a disclosure we made today in our 10Q regarding how we might hold crypto assets. Your money is safe with Coinbase as it has always been. Unquote. He is, after all, the CEO of Coinbase. Of course, he'll say there's nothing to be afraid of. So according to an expert, here's what would happen to your cryptocurrency if they went bankrupt. Quote, the insolvency proceedings would probably prevent customers from selling or exchanging their coins due to the so-called automatic stay imposed on creditors, unquote, Adam J. Levitin noted. The insolvency of a crypto exchange has yet to be addressed by US courts, and there are a slew of unanswered legal and regulatory problems. However, one thing is clear. If Coinbase customers were to become so-called general unsecured creditors, as the company's declaration suggests, they'd undoubtedly have a bad time, unquote. Levitin continues by saying, quote, general unsecured creditors are the last to recover money, unquote. Senior loan holders would be ahead of them, and Coinbase owes $2 billion in senior unsecured bonds, as well as the attorneys and bankers that help any company navigate bankruptcy, building up potential massive fees in the process. Naturally, this instilled uncertainty in the markets, causing Coinbase bonds to plummet to 70 cents on the dollar. But regrettably, things are only getting worse. Let me tell you what the greatest risk is to cryptocurrency right now. There are significant concerns and reports that Bitcoin billionaire Michael Saylor may face a margin call. Many people were speculating that if Bitcoin went to $21,000, he would face a margin call. However, this is not the case, and we'll discuss how it's actually considerably lower. However, if cryptocurrency prices continue to plummet, investors and creditors may put pressure on him to sell. So, according to Michael Saylor's tweet, quote, MicroStrategy has a $205 million term loan with a $410 million collateral retirement, and it has 115,000 Bitcoins it can pledge if the price of Bitcoin goes below 3,562, unquote. The company might post other collateral. Again, I don't think he'll have his margin called if Bitcoin falls below 20,000, but if it falls further lower and he starts to get pressure from investors or his company runs into financial difficulties, he may have to sell some to obtain more capital. And with him having 115,000 Bitcoins at a time when there is such a liquidity crisis, the price of Bitcoin might plummet very quickly. So, despite the fact that Bitcoin dropped hard to $25,000 and then rebounded to $30,000, there are still significant concerns in the market right now. We also need to look back at the previous bull market to see how low things can fall. Let's look at some Bitcoin price charts from the past. Now, the most recent bull market we witnessed was in 2017, and it reached $20,000 in December of that year. When you got to the bottom, how long did it take you to get there, as price sank to roughly $3,000? So, once again, there was an 80% drop that took a year to recover from. We peaked in November 2021, therefore we may only be halfway through this bear market, with Bitcoin falling by as much as 80%, like it did during the previous bull run. Again, no two bull runs are alike, but if it does, Bitcoin may fall below $14,000, $15,000, or even $13,000. Remember when Bitcoin went mainstream in 2013? The biggest risk and uncertainty for crypto is today. What's been going on since 2013? Well, we've been on this big, insane bull market in the stock market, in the housing market, in all assets, in all boats, during this crazy bull market. But what cryptocurrency hasn't seen is a deep recession, and not just a deep recession like the one we had in 2020, which wasn't a real recession, but more of an artificial recession. And it was a short and sharp recession, but we haven't seen how cryptocurrency would perform in a recession or even a depression. Yes, it recovered in 2020, but keep in mind that it was a V-shaped recovery. The government printed trillions of dollars and cut interest rates to zero. But we haven't seen how cryptocurrency behaves when interest rates rise and central banks sell off their balance sheets rather than expand them. So, do I believe that this will be the most severe test for cryptocurrency? And do I believe it will survive? Yes, but that doesn't rule out the possibility of prices falling anymore and staying there for an extended length of time if we don't recover from the recession. I know what you're thinking. What does all of this investment lingo mean in plain English? This indicates that despite the fact that cryptocurrency has had a brief comeback, there are still significant risks. If we fall below 20,000, I wouldn't be surprised. And if the last bull market's downturn repeats itself, Bitcoin might fall below 15,000 for the first time. And yet again, we haven't seen how Bitcoin performs in a sustained downturn. As a result, this will be its toughest test yet, and you might want to hold off going all in just yet. You might wish to start saving money and wait for those true life-changing possibilities, as this bear market could last another 6 to 12 months. However, these are just my personal ideas and opinions. Still, anything can happen. What are your thoughts on this? Please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. See you guys in the next one, and remember, keep living life bullish.